What we're going to do this morning is demonstrate how to use MicroPython to program our microbit. So last lesson we used the blocks coding in order to program our microbit, and we were able to display an image on our microbit. Now this week what we're going to do is we're going to start using Python to code our microbit. So you can see here on the screen that I've currently got a project. It's called Namebadge, and it's got some Python code. Now, this is the Python code that's equivalent to what you did last week. And so what it's doing is, you'll see here in the code, it's got while true, and this means that it runs forever. What you can do is you can put a condition here, and it evaluates whether that's true or false. So if you said while the sky is red, then this code would only run while the sky is red. Because we've said while true, true is always true, and so therefore this code is just going to run forever. It's a little trick to make something loop, and it will run forever. And so what this is doing is it's accessing the microbit's display, and it's showing an image of a heart. It's then going to sleep for 400, and so what you could then do is you could add extra lines of code under here on line number 9, and you could say something like display dot show image smiley, and that way it would show a smiley after 400 milliseconds. But I'm just going to leave this with display show image heart and sleep 400. Then we're going to send this to the microbit. And so just like in blocks coding, you've got the code here on your computer, and what we're going to do is we're going to transfer this via a USB cable, which is connected to my microbit, and it's then going to run that code on the microbit. So let's push the send to microbit button. You'll see it tells you what you need to do: connect the cable, which I've already done. It's then going to have this little pop-up, or it's giving you information about the pop-up. You need to say where your microbit is and connect. And now this is going to flash that code across the microbit, and you'll see that in my microbit, it's now displaying an image of the heart. And because of the angle of the camera, you can't actually see it all there. But if I can get the angle right, there you go. You can kind of see, depending on the tilt of the camera, you can see that the heart is showing on my microbit there. Now we can change our display to show different things. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a name badge. And so instead of saying display show image heart, what we want to do is show our name. And so we're going to change this code to show our name. Now I'm going to make an error here. So I'm going to say delete that display image heart, and I'm going to just try and type show Mr. Hall. And you'll see that I get this red squiggly line telling me I've got an error. Now that's because when you want to display text, you need to put it inside quotes. And so that means we need to start a quote and end a quote. And what that indicates is that instead of Mr. Hall being a name of an object on the computer that I want to show, like image.heart, Mr. Hall is actually some text that I want to display on my microbit. So now if I send this to the microbit, hopefully our angle is a bit better so you can see the MRHALL. There we go. And so that's now showing the text, Mr. Hall. Now there's different ways you can use display show. So at the moment we're just saying display dot show. When you say display dot show Mr. Hall, you'll see that on the microbit it shows the characters one letter at a time. Our other option is to delete the dot show, and we can say change this to dot scroll. And so what that will do is instead of showing the characters one at a time, the characters will scroll across the display. So when we send this to our microbit, you'll see that it's flashing the code, and now my code has changed so that instead of a dot show, it's a dot scroll. And so this code is now going to make for us a name badge where we can show our name. Now if we were actually making this into a name badge, then what we would do is we would make a very snazzy bracket like this one here and a battery. And you'll see that when I disconnect this from the power supply of the USB, I can connect this to the power supply of the battery. And because I've now got that code already running, it's now going to make my nice little bracket. I can mount that in my bracket, and I actually have a name badge that I could use as a little device.